coastal fishing village has been occupied by a drug trafficking operation with ties to international smuggling networks. To map out this network, we need to know what's coming in, where it's going, who's shipping it. Fire team is go. Good luck out there.
Still works.
Voodoo 1, this is Zeus. Move to location Alpha and stand by for further orders.
Hey.
Judging by the armed guards, I'd say that's the boss. Take him out, then grab his keys. Sending it back up! Movements in the area are on high. Intruders have been spotted in the Pacific. Over there, I've got radios lighting up. They're gonna be looking for you, fire team. One of those should open his personal room, where I'm guessing he keeps his legends manifest.
Right over here.
First. Armadillo. Watch my 6.
Grab the manifest and we'll identify which boats to tag with GPS beacons. Plant the trackers on the following skiffs.
Reloading. Cover me. Back to the mission.
Boats are tracking. Move on to visual surveillance.
Hostile spotted. Getting rusty. Enemy spotted.
Reinforcements are on the way. That's Sullivan. Grab the mobile SATCOM and initiate the sync. Well. Voodoo, it looks like the stakes have been raised. Keep moving and stick together.
Get the objective! Flashbang! finish the mission! There it is!
First aid. Yeah.
Sync in progress, Voodoo 1. Stand by. Sending in back up!
There! It's camouflage.
There!
Over here!
Complete the objective!
There you are.
Tossing flashbang! Eyes open, motherfucker! You need ammo!
Reloading.
Tossing flash!
Tough guy.
This way!
Hostile spotted.
There!
Sync complete. Grab the SATCOM.
Over here.
This way!
Cover me.
Everything's in place and transmitting. Nice work, fire team. Make your way to the extraction zone.
We need to get out of here! We need to get out of here! There!
Yeah, right over there. Get over and help.
I'm reading the flatline. Keep it together, Voodoo. Solid copy, Voodoo. Chopper inbound. Plan spotted. Moving in on the intruders. Reinforcements are on the way.
This isn't over.
over.
I've got help waiting for you, fire team. Marking the access point.
Knew you'd be back. Inflow down.
Grenade out.
Get me up. I'm not dying today. Fuck.
Fire team members down. To the mission. Can't stick around long. You've got 30 seconds and I'm gone.
Over here.
I'm reaching the flat line. Keep it together, Voodoo.
Somebody help me!
We've been taking out drug ops across the region, but more always take their place. Until we have a better long-term solution, the best thing we can do is keep up the fight and take out their operations wherever we find them. Such a target has been identified, and your team's being dispatched to wipe it out.
Brooks.
Voodoo 1, this is Zeus. Prepare to strike the camp at the following coordinates.
Cloak isn't perfect. Watch for movement.
Ammo. Stock up.
Stick to the mission.
Down. Cover me, I'm moving the alarm. Enemy spotted. Complete the objective.
This man has been identified as the chief here. Take him out and get his keys.
Got eye.
We have intruders in the area. Be on alert. Shoot anything that moves. How do you know you're in the area? Keep your heads down. That shed looks like a good cook den. This is it. Grab any intel you can find.
I'm trying.
Nothing too mind-blowing here, but grab some pictures for our records. We have everything we need. Burn the rest. Make sure it's irreparably destroyed. Can't chance them recovering anything.
Contact is using advanced camo.
Voodoo, stick to your mission. You wouldn't believe me if I told you what's out there.
There. Over here.
Send it back up!
First aid. Use it.
I'm hit! Help me!
My team members down!
Drag out.
Looking at some of this intel, and it looks like they have chemical shipments nearby. I think they were ready for bigger production. Let's burn that, too. Marking a reinforcement location on your map.
Throwing flash!
Light him up. Reinforcements are on the way.
Reloading.
Target's inbound wearing camo.
I need some fucking ammo!
Enemy spotted. Get patched, patching up. Mudding up.
Flashbang!
Lay down some fire. I'm heading for the alarm.
Hostile spotted.
Blue 1, let's take out that chopper while we're at it. Nice work, fire team. Overkill is underrated. Rendezvous at the exfil coordinates and prep for extraction.
Exfil location.
Let's get to the exfil point!
Voodoo, I'm seeing a secondary objective nearby. Up to you if you want to make some extra cash. Orders received. En route to extraction zone. Hostiles are attempting to escape! Stop them now!
Enemy spotted.
Send it back up!
Eyes open, motherfucker!
Make it quick. You got 30 seconds.
Flashbang out!
Glad y'all made it out alive. That's some damn fine work, fire team.
December 1st, 1997. We ran...
$20.25. It's hot.
It's September 12th, 1987. My name is Major Alan Schaefer, also known as Dutch, U.S. Army veteran, special. April 8th, 1991. I'm not dead yet. I'll admit, I regret not curing my radiation sickness before I left. It made leaving the country difficult. I cashed in a few favors, took one too many off-the-book flights in rusted-out buckets, but I made it back to Valverde. The area was on lockdown, sealed by American intelligence for study. The complex centered on a crater from the alien self-destruction. I found the scientists slumming in the local bar. A few drinks, a couple of threads later, he was ready to talk. It wasn't much, barely anything I didn't already know. The blast emitted a form of radiation they'd never seen before. Some believed it was extraterrestrial, some didn't. Either they're not too bright, or there's nothing to find. I decided to let them keep searching in vain. It kept them busy and off my trail. I've been touring villages and small towns using the cover of an author writing about South American folklore. I don't know if any of them bought in, but they took my money and told their stories. The closer they were to the jungle, the more stories of devils in the trees. Some were bullshit, made up on the spot, but some carried consistencies that I couldn't ignore. Whatever it was, the demons who make trophies of man, the devil of the trees, or the skull taker, the stories always began on the hottest summer that they could remember. In the summer of 1987, Valverde nearly broke its all-time high in temperatures. They love the heat. It must remind them of home. Everything else confirmed the truth of the stories. Proud warriors skinned and hanged, skulls and spines ripped from their bodies. Maybe it was obvious from the beginning, but it wasn't until I heard the stories that I truly accepted the purpose of these mutilations. I mean, they're taking trophies. They travel impassable distances to hunt us, skin us, and mount us over some alien fireplace on another world. It would be disgusting if it weren't so familiar. Where do I go now? It's been on my mind all year. The takeaway from all this intel is that they've been doing this for decades, centuries maybe. They're coming back, and I need to be there when they do. April 8th, 1991. I'm not dead yet. I'll admit, I regret not curing my radiation sickness before. June 27th, 1992. It's hard to remember that the most important part of an operation is patience. You can plan the perfect op, but you can't account for everything. If shit goes south, there's nothing to do but to adapt and finish the mission. Sometimes you just get lucky. I was in the dock, 10 clicks downriver from the Valverde border, figuring out my next move. I was ready to pack it in. I thought that I learned everything that I could, that there was nothing left for me to find. The OWLF had abandoned the detonation site a year ago, and I thought that they already shipped back to America. That's when I saw Agent Peter Keyes tie his skiff to the dock. I haven't seen Keyes since I gave my official statement to him. It was impossible, but there he was with 3 of his buddies. All agents. The clean, tidy outfits give them away all the time. They don't want to get down in the dirt, you see. That's what they pay soldiers to do. Keyes walked up, looked right at me, and shook my hand. With the radiation sickness, I've lost a lot of weight, so I thought that he maybe would not recognize me. But then he greeted me like we were old pals. Keyes is a good spy, saying nothing, implying everything. We spent the next few hours trading war stories at the bar. If you'd heard us, you would never have suspected we were trading intel on an alien manhunter. His cover was that they have been looking for a serial killer, a sadist who has been operating in the area for years, hunting people like animals and then skinning them alive. Keyes wanted to talk about the monster, so it all came out in the cover story. In many ways, they were just a few steps behind, surveying villages for information, locating witnesses. He did confirm one thing that only considered. He told me how the killer chose his victims. They were always armed. A rifle, a pistol, a knife in a boot. He wasn't taking kids or random villages. He wanted a challenge. Whatever it was a hunter. When it killed for sport. I wish they were here for a military action, recon for an invasion. But the truth was so much worse. We are prey, animals, fit only to be hunted. Keyes and his buddies paid the tab and mine, but before he left, he winked at me and he said, "Stay out of the jungle. That's where he gets you." I tracked Keyes and his team for weeks, but they didn't learn anything new. Maybe they knew that I was there, maybe they didn't, I don't know. I've risked enough for now. I think it's time to disappear. Keep my ear to the ground. Be patient. March 3rd, 1996, Zaire. I thought I could wait. I thought that I could hold back and make my... March 3rd, 1996, Zaire. I thought I could wait. I thought that I could hold back and make my move at the right time. I couldn't. Fuck. I had to find them. I needed to hunt it or let it hunt me. I joined up with any private military company that was headed into the hot zone. I pulled every string, cashed out every favor just to follow the sweat and the death that attracted the demon. I eventually put together a team myself. Lost soldiers and haunted men, willing to fight and to die wherever I led them. They thought that I was a legend, and I let them believe that. I'm quiet and good in what I do. They needed them to see me as a legend, so that they could take them to die in a sweltering jungle. We went on more missions than I can remember. We didn't fire until we were fired at. They thought that it was my code. It wasn't. I was waiting and watching. Our last mission was an evac up in the Congo. A private munition base had gone dark. When we arrived, they'd been dead for days. Bodies strung up on floodlights around the base, all of them skinned, some missing skulls and spines. We secured the site and waited for backup to arrive. In the heat of the day, I stared into the waves of heat coming off the concrete, thinking that any minute they might come alive as the invisible killer. And then they did. I didn't wait. I unloaded every round I had. Trusting me, my team fired in the same direction. It wasn't the first time I'd done it, but this time I knew what I was looking for. It was so fast, we couldn't hit it. We panicked, and stray rounds struck the crate of RPGs. And that explosion hit other munitions that exploded. By the time the smoke cleared, the demon was dead, but so were all my men. I took samples of its blood, pieces of its anatomy, and what tech that I could salvage. And then I burned everything. Then it disappeared. I never checked in with HQ. As far as I know, I was counted among the dead.
October 12, 1997, Los Angeles. I needed to come back to the States. It wasn't impossible to sneak contraband through customs, but I wasn't willing to risk what I found in a cargo falling into the wrong hands. Instead, I traveled to Mexico aboard a cargo ship bound for the port of Altamira. From there, I made my way to Tijuana, and I bunkered down. I had tangible proof of extraterrestrial life in my possession, but no idea what to do with it. I'm not a scientist. I did a soldier's duty and secured valuable intel. This was out of my pay grade. I kept an eye on the news. Los Angeles was having a record-breaking heat wave and a gang war on the streets. It was perfect. I could feel it in my bones. I'd been tracking them for so long, I could think like them. I could smell the prey. I could see the hunting ground. I had to get to LA. Crossing back into the States from Tijuana wasn't that difficult, but by the time that I'd reached the city, it was already over. Like Valverde, the OWLF only found crumbs. What I'd hoped might be an alien ship turned out to be only a launching site. I wanted it too much, and I got sloppy. I breached the OWLF's quarantine and was captured. I'd hoped to be bailed out by Agent Keys, but he died. With Keys gone, the OWLF was leaderless and disorganized. I was interrogated, but I negotiated my release by bartering the alien materials that I'd recovered from the Congo. During the negotiations, it was clear how little they knew. They needed someone who understood the threat, so I offered to work with the OWLF as a consulting advisor. They had the funding, the technology that I needed to continue my hunt. I wouldn't work for them, but I would work with them. There will be a weapon that I can use to hunt down these predators as they move to fresh ground. It's only a matter of time until they see us as a real threat. When the prey can fight back, it's no longer a hunt. It is war. March 3rd, 2008. We've gotten good at killing predators. Every time we find one, we come back with more tech, more research, and the OWLF's funding goes up. Together, we have gotten stronger and more efficient. For a time, the aliens were surprisingly predictable. They had no idea that we knew so much about them. But that began to change. They sent better hunters every time. They're beginning to see us as a threat. Or we've become a more worthy prize. Maybe both. We know this because our last encounter was special. We weren't certain if they had any gender to speak of, but that changed when we came into contact with the female. She was smarter and deadlier. She didn't fuck around like the males did. She was direct, ruthless, and skilled. I was in Laos when we first came into contact with her. It was Valverde all over again. Her ambush wiped out my entire team. Only this time, she got me. In a small village, I lost track of her, just long enough for her to pin me with a razor net. Pinned against the wall, razors cutting into my face. I've been fighting for so long, I was ready to die. I should be dead. Instead of making the kill, she cloaked and vanished into the jungle. The net relaxed, and I escaped with my life, and a scar to remember her by. She spared me. Only me. like she knew who I was. I returned to the exfil, my first failed mission in a long time. Are we going about this wrong? I mean, we've learned so much, but in doing so, have we made ourselves a bigger target? I can't stop thinking about something Napoleon said. You must not fight too often with one enemy, or you will teach them all your art of war. I started this believing that we were learning how to hunt them, or maybe she let me live to just be hunted another day. We were teaching them how to hunt us. January 13th, 2019. I knew that the Predator's deployment to Earth would make it impossible to keep all of this